Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a concept that is truly mind-bending. It bridges ancient wisdom with modern physics and explores how the very fabric of time might be way more flexible than we ever thought possible. So, let's start with a question you've probably asked yourself lately. Does it feel like time is speeding up? You know that feeling, right? Where the days and weeks just seem to fly by faster than ever before? Well, here's the thing. It's not just you. This is apparently a shared feeling all across the globe, and it might just be a clue to a huge shift in how our world actually works. To really get our heads around this, let's look at one particular story. It's a story that seems to just completely defy the laws of physics as we know them, about a group of travelers who experienced something, well, impossible. Okay, so picture this. The year is 1992, and we're in Egypt. A group of travelers just spent 3 days at St. Catherine's Monastery, and now they're heading back to Cairo. They are absolutely buzzing with excitement because the grand finale of their trip is waiting for them. Private, midnight access to the Great Pyramid. So, the group leaves at 8 a.m. Now, this should be an 8-hour drive. And it's made even longer because their bus is getting stopped at military checkpoints every 20 minutes. But they arrive in Cairo at noon. That's just 4 hours later. How on earth did that happen? Their guide was completely stunned, just calling it a miracle. And here's the key difference. Instead of dreading the long drive, the whole group was just lost in the feeling of already being at the pyramid. But here's the really weird part. When they arrived at noon, they looked at their watches, and every single one had sped ahead to 4 p.m., the exact time they were supposed to arrive. So, the theory that came out of this is pretty wild. By collectively feeling the joy of being at their destination, the group somehow literally compressed time and space. They didn't think their way there faster. The idea is they felt their way there. But how is that scientifically possible? All right, let's switch gears and look at the science, because some interpretations of physics might actually give us a way to understand this. A reality where time isn't just some straight line we're all stuck on. We're all taught that time is linear, right? A single road from past to future. But some models in physics are playing with this idea of vertical time. Think of it less like a single road and more like a massive, multi-lane highway, where all these different potential realities, all these possibilities are all existing at the same time, right now. And this isn't from totally new age concept. Even Einstein hinted that our whole understanding of time was probably way off, suggesting that the past and future might be a lot more connected than we think. So if time is a highway with many lanes, how do we switch lanes? Well, a physicist named Hugh Everett proposed this idea of choice points. They're these theoretical moments where the different lanes of time get so close that we can actually make a quantum leap from one outcome to another. And this idea brings us to something very, very old, but seen in a completely new light. What if ancient prophets weren't actually predicting one single unavoidable future? What if what they were really seeing were all the different lanes on that highway of time, all the possibilities? And this ties right back into the science. Because the ancient practice of prophecy, which was dismissed for a long time, is now being explored under a very modern name, remote viewing. It's the theory that our consciousness can be projected through space-time to see events or possibilities far away in time. You know, a perfect example of this is the prophet Isaiah. In the same ancient text describing the very same period of time, he saw two futures that are complete opposites. One is this vision of total catastrophe where cities are destroyed. The other is a time of miraculous healing where a new earth appears. And that's the huge question that has puzzled scholars for centuries. Was he seeing a sequence, first destruction, then healing? Or was he showing us two different lanes of time, two quantum possibilities that we could actually choose between? Well, according to our source, Isaiah didn't just show us the options, he left us a key. So it turns out the answer is hidden in a kind of linguistic code within his most precious text, the Great Isaiah Scroll, which was discovered almost perfectly intact among the Dead Sea Scrolls. All right, check this out. Isaiah writes that the key to avoiding all that destruction and finding healing is hidden within a mysterious mountain. But when you look at the linguistics, in ancient Hebrew, mountain was often a metaphor for the heavenly Jerusalem. And Jerusalem itself, it literally translates to the vision of peace. So when you put those translations back into the text, the message becomes crystal clear. Isaiah is telling us that our refuge, our healing, our shelter, it's all found within a vision of peace. It's not a physical place you have to find. It's a way of being. It's like an internal technology that we can use to focus our own consciousness and emotion to choose which of the many possible realities we get to experience. So, what does this actually mean for us, right here and now? Let's bring this all together. This last part is about how this whole idea comes together into a really powerful takeaway for our own lives. Okay, so the source makes this really important distinction. We always hear this phrase, we create our reality. And let's be honest, that can feel like a lot of pressure. But this perspective suggests something different. What if all the possibilities already exist, like blueprints? Then maybe our job isn't to create our reality from scratch, but to choose which pre-existing reality we want to awaken, using the language of our feelings. So in this view, every single possibility, good, bad, ugly, beautiful, it already exists. And the quantum field that holds all these blueprints, it doesn't judge us. It simply responds to our internal state. The world around us becomes a mirror of the feelings we embody. We are literally choosing our lane on that highway of time through the silent language of genuine, heartfelt emotion. And that leaves us with a final and pretty empowering thought to carry with us. This whole idea suggests that the greatest power we have to change our lives, and even our world, isn't in what we do, but in what we choose to become on the inside.